Thank you. Dr. Sutherland.
I have several comments. I'll try to make them as fast as I can. First of all, I appreciate the research brief. This is a step in the right direction. However, I can't tell. We need to work on our labeling. You need to remember that assume the board members don't know anything. So when you say that the target is 79% and the actual is 78, you need to say 79% of what, 78% of what. Just make sure we know what we're talking about. Same thing with behavioral performance. I don't know how you do that, maybe footnotes. But you need, pretend that we're your students. Make sure that we understand. If you write something that says 79 and 78 and you don't tell us what it is, you've wasted our time and yours as well. Now, I almost brought a document tonight that's this thick, and I didn't have enough strength to carry it. You know what it is? It's a Dallas budget. It's for 3 years ago. Okay, where is this for Elsie? Okay, the Dallas budget is this. Okay, I'm going to bring it next week. We have our budget thing. They have the amount of every one of these dollars for every school in the district. Okay, so when you're a parent at school X, you know how much that budget is for Umoja, and you know how much it is for all these things. Okay, you know how much the staffing is at that school, and you can compare it with the staffing at every other school if you want to. Okay, I can't think of the word right now, but the staffing plan for the central office is in there. It's adopted by the board. You can't go switching it around like you can in Fort Worth in the middle of the year. Okay, I got working on a problem today that I found out that the whole program was switched from one assistant superintendent to another one in the middle of the year. Nobody told the board. It happens, in my opinion, to be a very bad switch, okay? But that's just my opinion. But the board should know, okay? So when we adopt the budget this time, I want us to adopt the staffing plan for the central office. And if Dr. Sorum wants to change something, fine. That's fine with me. He can come and tell us he wants to switch this group of people over this year. We'll say fine. Then we're not going to do that I know it's not really under the table, but it feels like under the table, okay? So that's not going to happen. So the staffing ratios for the school sites need to be published, and they need to be adopted by the board, and the schools need to find them. I do not want to come to Hazel Harvey Peace next March and find out that there's 4 kindergartners with 26 kids in it, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to know at the beginning of the year when a teacher can get that book out for Hazel Harvey Peace, and she can see what the rules are and how many kids are there and how many teachers. Then you'd be surprised what this will do to the quality of the school district, because all of a sudden there will be some accountability, and there are not even any people involved. It's just the numbers. Okay, so I'm just warning you, Elsie, Mrs. Shiro, Attorney Shiro, CFO Shiro, that I'm expecting a few more pieces of paper this year than we had last year, and I want the board to adopt them. I have one more thing, but unfortunately I can't remember what it was, so I'll let you go. But this will make a big difference, believe me. I mean, it sounds like I'm nuts, but there has to be accountability. We have this board is operating behind a blank wall. We have no clue what's going on because nobody has to tell us. And we need to have this step. Oh, I remember what it was. Talking about reading, Mrs. Moss, if you recall, I'm on your side about this. I complained about the fact that we added 2 kids per class district-wide in K-3 2 years ago. No one's complained in the last year or two about the fact that we got rid of 96 library aides. Those library aides did a lot of teaching of reading, a lot, okay? So when you're whining about how these kids can't read, just remember 96 library aides. If you multiply that by 25,000, you can see how much money it is. I might be able to do it in my head, but I'm afraid to guess. So there are things that can be done. This doesn't have a lot to do with you, I know, but there are. I have to give Mr. Moore part of the credit because part of this stuff was done in his shop with these evaluations, and I think we've come forward, and we should take